Meet Bill. He is a campaign manager. He wanted to effectively use his budget and the time of his volunteers to help his candidate win. But it wasn't working. Bill wasted precious time sending volunteers to the wrong houses. His volunteers even complained about getting rude responses at the door. Bill used the same standard script when calling and turned some of his voters away instead of connecting to them on what they actually cared about. Whatever little funding he had saved after expensive TV ads he poured into mail, but couldn't see any change. He felt he wasn't doing it right. His instincts told him there is a better way if only he had the tools. Bill contacted SCL Elections, who helped him by creating a psychographic model for his voters, which allowed reaching distinct groups based on the core of human behavior, the mind. We can think of the population of voters in many different ways. The most obvious is geography. Where do people live? Another common way is demographics. What do people look like? Are they male or female, white or African American, young or old? But when you think about it, where people live or what they look like is only part of the picture. Sure, where you live and your demographics influence behaviors like voting, donating, or volunteering, but they are not the cause of those behaviors. The brain is the real cause. Scientifically, there isn't really such a thing as a white behavior or an old behavior or a male behavior. So why is it that when we campaign, we target these things? The reason why psychographics is so helpful is because it is all about the brain. Rather than looking at age, race, or gender, SCL looks at personalities, emotions, motivations, reward structures, habits, and a huge array of cognitive processes that are the real drivers of human behavior. This is what makes SCL unique in the world. Our project team doesn't look like a typical political firm, but they look different for a reason. Although it seems many firms are doing micro-targeting, no one approaches it from the core constructs of the brain and the fundamentals of human psychology. Working with SCL means working with top-tier PhD psychologists, data scientists, and behavioralists who are leading experts in their field. When we can combine the power of experimental psychology with the huge leaps in data science, technology, and analytics, we can create the most robust insight into political behavior yet seen in any campaign. Simply put, SCL Elections can create a looking glass into the psyche of the voter. Now back to our campaign manager, Bill. Bill was pleasantly surprised that SCL used scientific field research techniques and collected psychometric data not on hundreds or thousands, but on tens of thousands of his voters and produced predictions on the entire voting universe. Their analytics pipeline combined these customized psychological samples with rich consumer behavior data sets and online behavioral clickstream data that described voters in much greater detail than race, age, or gender ever could. SCL's messaging team then crafted message after message for hundreds of microsegments, and Bill now knew exactly what to say to each target voter. Now Bill has finally started to see excitement in his volunteers because the opinions of his voters have started to change. Bill was innovating and understanding his voter universe like never before. In other words, he was working smarter. He realized he can rely on SCL Elections to help him on both large and local elections because even in small elections, the same principles of cost-effectiveness, right messaging to the right people, and transparency apply. In the modern elections that are won by a small number of votes, Bill felt like he had a secret weapon like no other to help his candidate win. He finally felt he's doing it right.